Hello there, my name is Milenkov and this is probably the most important video I'm ever going to make. And I'll explain why. Well, for a long time, I stayed quiet, I watched, I learned, and I built in the background. Today, I'm stepping forward to share what I'm working on and where this is going. Let me rewind to 2023. At the time, I was active duty Navy, structured life, predictable path, but I knew early on that I didn't want to coast until retirement. I wanted ownership, control, something I built myself. So while still in uniform, I started my first business, an Amazon business, with no prior experience. The early months were rough. Most nights I slept 3 to 4 hours. I stayed up learning, watching anything about Amazon, e-commerce, supply chain, whatever I could find, courses, podcasts. Then I'll be back on base early morning, handling my responsibilities on almost no sleep. I gave up weekends. I stopped seeing friends. My fitness routine disappeared. Everything outside the mission was stripped away. But I wasn't just building a business, I was building discipline, systems, proof, and ultimately getting to know myself in a different way, in a really deep way. Since entrepreneurship usually gets the best out of you or the worst, depending on how you let it get to you. And eventually it worked. That business scaled to 6 figures, then 7 figures annually, and ultimately became a multi-million-dollar operation while I was still in the military. The money mattered, but it wasn't the point. The real takeaway was simple. If you stay committed long enough, outcomes, they stop being random. Failure only happens when you quit. That's not motivation, it's math and statistics. Fast forward to last month, November, I officially separated from the Navy to build full time. Now starts the next chapter, and this one is focused on acquiring cash flowing assets, specifically aircraft. At a high level, the model is simple. We treat aircraft the same way investors treat real estate. You acquire them, you breed them up to standards, and you place them where demand already exists. Right now, flight schools and training programs don't have enough aircraft. Demand is strong, supply is tight. So we acquire aircraft, maintain them properly, and place them into rental fleets. They don't sit idle, they work. I'll be applying the same discipline, systems, and execution that worked in e-commerce, just in a different asset class. And why aviation? Well, because aviation has always been a part of my life. My grandfather was a pilot, two of my uncles are pilots. I grew up always playing games that involve flying in some way, and with a strong passion for those metal things that somehow fly. The interest never went away. So I'm currently working towards my pilot's license, and I plan to fly for the rest of my life. That is where I feel the most alive. I know, cheesy, right? But at some point you realize that building a life around what actually it's enjoyable to you, isn't a luxury, it's the goal. For that reason, this chapter is about combining business and aviation, not choosing between them. Along the way, I'll be able to use the skills I learned by implementing AI in my e-commerce business and teach you how to use those tools to automate work, save time, and scale intelligently, no matter in what line of business you're in. Technology is leverage, and ignoring it, it's falling behind. I'm documenting this publicly for a reason. There's something powerful about putting your journey out into the world. I call it digital gravity. When you stop hiding and start sharing, people who are meant to be part of your life somehow find their way to you. We live in a disconnected world. People move, scatter, isolate. Real connections are rare. The internet, when used correctly, isn't about attention, it's about alignment. If you don't share what you're building, you stay invisible to the people who might want to learn or join you in the journey. I want to connect with builders, operators, people who are willing to trade short-term comfort for long-term freedom. So on this channel, I'll be sharing the real journey: aircraft acquisition, partnerships, cash flow breakdowns, mistakes, systems, and the mindset required to build assets from scratch. No fluff, no shortcuts. And if this resonates with you, follow along, and more importantly, reach out. Tell me what you're building, what's keeping you up at night, what idea you can't shake. And this is just the beginning. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.